Today's story was written by Reddit user GIJoeVibin. I'll tell you one thing, they build their memorials well. I've been all over the Pact Nations, and outside of them too. My job is mostly writing articles for travel books or net articles. Yes, no, I didn't write that piece. I've been to Liptar, and it's lovely. Frankly, I hate the concept of worst cities. Best cities? Great, that's fine. But worst cities? No. All a load of nonsense. But anyway, I end up travelling a lot, and my specialty is historical stuff. So I'm in a lot of museums and memorials and famous sites. I won't get into the other two because that's a whole other topic. Generally what you want in a memorial, it varies. There's this magnificent, beautiful statue built by the Actorans to celebrate some victory long ago. Absolutely beautiful, it towers over the land. It's impossible to describe, it feels like it's stirring you to action. It also was built to commemorate a war that is overwhelmingly agreed by modern scholars to have been a pointless slaughter. The whole thing seems horrendously misplaced, like it was mislabeled. Every minute you spend is alternating between awe and remembering the reality underpinning it. Bombastic does work, of course. There's a human one. Can't recall where, similar in a way, but with a giant human woman wielding a sword instead of this Actoran with his rifle. The difference there is what it's for, the reality it represents. Still a brutal war, the battle it commemorates especially so, but the cause gives it strength enough to work, and the whole thing represents popular resistance, not horrendous death like those present. No matter how many times a co-opting was or is attempted, I and billions others see only a testament to the power of the committed to resist fascism. Particularly of interest to me, and so many others, are the Contact War and Second Hecatian War related memorials. There's a few types to go over. Converted memorials are fairly common, especially in Britain. These are formed from destroyed or captured war equipment. For example, a wing from a B-2 stealth bomber in the middle of Manchester, which has a lovely park around it. The names of some of Manchester's war dead are carved into the wing where it juts out from the ground, and several landing pods were converted to museums. There's the relatively simple, a monolith or cenotaph, or something of the sort, inscribed with the names of the dead. North America specifically is littered with them. Of course, I can't talk about human war memorials without mentioning the Liberation War Memorial on Hecatia, but there is little new to say about it. Then there's the subdued, like the United Nations headquarters in New York. The rest of the city started afresh, but they kept the ruins just as they were when the war ended. All shattered and beautifully preserved. Very little is signposted about it. You see a spot where a chunk has been blown from the building, and you have no idea what caused it. May have been the initial fighting, the nukes, or the desperate counterattacks that finally turned the tide of the Second Hecatian War. On the more experimental front, there is the one along Lake Nam Loe. Ironically, just in sight of the new UN headquarters. It's still under construction, but it's the most powerful memorial I've ever been in. What they have done is carve a giant wound into the ground. Not a neat circular or square hole, no, a jagged, ugly hole. It's all meant to look and feel like a literal injury upon the planet, and humans by extension. There is no sense of order or dignity. You descend into the memorial through a rough-cut ramp, and then you walk upon cracked stone tiles, the walls lined with photos of just a fraction of the dead, tales from those who survived playing over speaker. One moment it will be a story of the battle for New Delhi, the next a civilian experiencing the Nashville occupation. Again, no order. The urge to rationalize and sort something so chaotic and widespread into one neat package is actively resisted. Since it's still just a fraction of the fully planned memorial, we exited by taking a lift installed into some scaffolding. They might have finished it by now, I'm not sure, but I'm due over there soon, so I'll be able to check. Still, even as little as it was, it felt powerful, like a gut punch. The construction teams do everything with hand tools down there, and the design calls for the utmost lack of precision, within safety limits, of course. If the worker team feels it should be wider, then it becomes wider. If they feel it should be narrower at the next bit, then it will be narrower. It's utterly unique, and if you forgive the expression, alien. So what does this all mean? It means that humans do not forget their dead easily. They will plaster their cities in memorials, and toss an inordinate amount of resources into the careful maintenance and preservation of this. They will keep building new ones, decades after the event in question ended, because to humans who've suffered and lost, there is no such thing as too many memorials. Of course they do quibble and argue over each memorial, if its design is correct or not, but never is the concept of memorializing in itself questioned. That weight is carried from generation to generation, always driving them on. It becomes an external reminder of what they overcame, what they lost, and the risks they face at all times. In a galaxy as fraught and uncertain as ours, perhaps that's why they keep doing so as well.